Good morning and welcome to News 12 Forum. I'm your host, Adrian Torres. My first guest is Brittany Harlow, the author of Liberty and Lace and, of course, News 12's own. How's it going, Brittany?
Pretty good this morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm well. So tell us about your new book that's going to come out this December.
Well, my new book, Liberty and Lace, is the sequel to the first book I wrote under the pen name Elaine Harlow, Freedom Falls. Basically, it's about an evil corporation that takes over the globe and forces everyone to live underground if they don't want to listen to their rules and how they want them to live and how they want to rule the planet. And the book, basically, the books focus on a 16-year-old main character named Lynn, who lives underground in a cave with her uncle's militia. And basically, it follows her journey of getting out of the cave and going above ground and becoming a soldier. And it's kind of also coming of age as she figures out who she is.
So it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of thing?
Exactly, yes. Yep. Okay. The world is not a great place to live in, and it's about 40 years in the future, and so.
Okay. So you said this is the second book that you've written.
Yes. Well, technically it's the third book I've written.
Oh.
I wrote one under the pen name Brittany Porter, which is called The Universe is Ours. But this one, it's like a shorter series, shorter chapter books, and so this Freedom Falls is the sequel to my second book.
Okay. So they're all connected in some way?
Well, the first book is completely unrelated, but the second book and the third book are its own new series. The first book took forever to write. It was like 400 pages, and I'm like, man, it's going to be forever before anyone sees the second one of these. And so I just decided to kind of do smaller books. They're about 150 pages long and really easy to consume, I think.
So what inspired you to first start writing these kind of books?
Well, I have loved writing forever. I've always loved telling stories, and like I said, my first book took me a really long time, and I was thinking, like, you know, I want a book that I can keep writing like shorter chapter books for, and so I just kind of came up with this idea. You know, you see like the Hunger Games and all those kind of series about, you know, what would happen in the future if, you know, things really got out of control. And so I thought, you know, what could my mind create that would turn this world into like an apocalypse situation, and then, you know, an evil corporation is what I came up with.
Is there like a particular age group you're kind of targeting the books for?
They're young adult, and so I guess if I was to, like, my main goal would be to reach people that were maybe in junior high and high school, but even me, you know, being an adult, I love reading young adult books, like even like the shorter chapter books that I can just like breeze through. It's just a really great way to kind of get some quick entertainment, I think.
Okay. So how would you advertise your book to someone who's not in the particular the target age group?
Well, I think that it's so great for so many different ages, because it is designed for, you know, junior high reading level, high school reading level, but it also has like a lot of bigger issues, like, you know, what to do when, you know, you're going against a lot of people who don't have the same beliefs as you, and kind of how globally, you know, we should treat each other and maybe not necessarily be ruled by like greed and forcing other people to live how they expect you to live, and kind of, you know, how to go your own way. And it deals with like other themes, like there's something for everybody. I think there's, you know, romance, there's a lot of action, and I think that it's just a great read for anyone who likes reading. Okay.
So any readers of your first books, will they see any changes in your writing style in your second books? Have you grown as a writer, or has you?
I think so. Like, even me reading back, like, it's impossible for me to read my own books, because I'm always thinking of like what I should edit, and I'm like, I need to fix this. But at one point, I'm just like, no, I have to, you know, let it go. But I always tell my people that find out that I write books, like, yeah, you should read, you know, my first one, but you should definitely read Freedom Falls. Like, the first one was all right, but like Freedom Falls and Liberty and Lace, like, you really grow the more, and you get more comfortable and everything, and you just get better at storytelling the more that you do it, I think.
All right, so that's 3 on the books. Is there, is there going to be a 4th or a 5th? Are you going to continue the series?
I really hope so. I always like leaving a kind of a cliffhanger at the end, and right now I kind of have a smaller fan base of a couple hundred people, I would think, but I always like on the end with suspense, and the way that I ended Liberty and Lace, there's definitely going to be at least a 3rd book, because I can't just leave it that way.
We talked about the Hunger Games a little earlier. Are there any other books you kind of write similarly to, like any inspirations?
Well, as far as the theme, I think that the theme that I wrote is pretty on its own. Like, it is that kind of apocalyptic, in the future, everything's changed kind of storyline. But as for like inspirations, I always loved like R.L. Stine and Christopher Pike, and just those real, suspenseful action, romance, all these kind of different genres rolled into one. And just growing up, I loved those chapter books, and I was just addicted. And I think that it's, I'm not going to compare myself too much to those guys, but I feel like those young adult series are really what inspired me to start my own.
Okay. And where can you get the book?
It's available on Amazon. So you can go to Amazon.com. I also am working on getting it in stores. And then, of course, you can always contact me. I have a website. It's writetalkshoot.com. And so it kind of encompasses all of the different projects that I work on. But there's a section there that you can, send me an email, and I'll even send it to you directly if you want.
We'll put all right. We'll have all those links up once we post the video, this forum, on our KXI.com page. So I'd like to thank Brittany Harlow for coming around.
Thanks, Adrian.
And we'll be right back.